So I've hit record, Pudding Boys audience, and hopefully you can tell. Naylor and I'm Blore.
I'm Naylor. That's why he's referring to Naylor in the preamble. A bit weird if he didn't, like.
We've stumbled upon 2 microphones, some pop stands, and an audio interface.
It looks real professional in here. It's going to sound like crap still, but that's basically just us now.
We don't know how to use it.
We can't blame the tools anymore.
No. So we're no longer using... No longer.
We're no longer
dingoes.
We're going to go around the world.
We're no longer using the Zoom room recorder. Do you know what? For some reason, I thought
it's a Zoom room.
Zoom room. I thought as soon as we got rid of that and we started using microphones, it would solve all the problems with. If you've listened to any past episodes, Pudding Boys audience, I'm sure you've heard me tapping a pen on the side of my chair. You've heard the Velcro from the back of my chair swinging back and forward, me scratching my arm, me sniffing, burping.
There was the really snotty couple of weeks.
There's some snotty couple of weeks. But I seem to think that like all those problems are going to be solved by this setup.
They're going to be amplified.
They are amplified. Yeah. They are worse.
You're going to hear everything.
We've just tried to do some kind of little test, and we've essentially found out that we can't lift a glass off the table, which normally would be bad when we have a cup of tea and a squash. But Pudding Boys audience, we've got red wine. So
we're not recording this one morning. I want to make that perfectly clear.
This is not
a weekend evening record. You're enjoying it on a weekday.
Yeah, this is a delayed recording because we wanted to wait for the gear to come in, and we've had all of 5 minutes testing it.
Yes, and even if we'd had like 3 days to learn it, we'd still sound like...
Yeah, we would have played it for 5 minutes and then played Mario Kart.
Yes.
I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart recently.
Oh, I could drift back in.
Yeah, I'm getting prepped.
Did you got real big about your 3-starring 150cc cup, didn't you?
Okay, so yesterday I get back from the pub. I think I had 4 pints.
Itself.
So 4 pints. I'm not a heavy drinker, so 4 pints is plenty enough to make
me...
Steaming. Not steaming, but...
He fell through the front door.
But I... Mirror mode, 150cc, 3 stars, no problem, smashed it.
Yeah, but in the same thing, I drank a bottle of wine and taught H how carrier strike groups work, so...
But I don't think that puts you in like the top 10th percentile of all historians. I think I might be some kind of Mario Kart prodigy.
I think we've just lost most of our listeners because they're coming to us because there's a little bit of games in there. They're all going to be better than us.
No, because I've seen a map of where our listeners are from and none of them are from Korea. And you know, you've played Clash of Clans. You know you quake in
from
fear.
Abu Dhabi by it now.
There's
a lot of oil money in Clash of Clans.
There's a lot of money in Clash of Clans, yeah. There's not quite so much money in Mario Kart, so maybe...
No, it's not
still
quite
dominated.
the paywall.
Yeah.
You've got to be good at things.
I just always remembered when I just hit the table and I think I heard it rumble. I remember playing Tekken, and whenever you were loading, if you saw a Korean name come on, you just wrote it off.
Enough. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, okay, I'll do what I can. I'll do what I can. I'm not gonna just let them beat me, but that's going to happen whether I like it or not.
See, I've lost that excuse now, because we've finally sorted our broadband out, so I don't have 500 gig a month to play with.
Yeah.
They're actually unlimited now. So now I've lost my, I can't play online because...
You've lost your excuse.
Yeah. Now I'm just bad at games. Then everyone can see it.
Yeah, I think it's... I like to think, maybe in my old age I got a little bit worse at games. I think I've just always been a little bit bad.
We've played Halo as a group, which is kind of a good marker.
Yeah,
you were better than me, but that's small.
No, I was never as good as our joint friend Dan. But funny story about me and Dan playing Halo. We used to play it all the time. Halo 3. And we would have been 17, 18 years old, something like that.
Good job we've got the explicit filter on now, isn't it? If we're going to tell these stories.
We're talking about Xbox Live. No. But we'd sit there, we'd drink Sambuca and Dr. Pepper, playing Halo 3 because we were teenagers. And
that's a weird and horrible mix.
But we thought it was brilliant. We thought we were like connoisseurs at the time. And we'd play Halo 3. And people would often remark afterwards how Dan was carrying it. It would be doubles. And it'd be like, oh, Dan's carrying that team. Or his gamer tag. I'm not going to say his gamer tag online. Even though that's
what they're
I'll
for.
say his name, but I'm not going to say his gamer tag.
We'll give out his, address and times he's out.
It was the name of a Dragon Ball Z character spelt wrong. But, oh no, I think it might have been spelt right. And RuneScape, it was spelt right. Who gives a shit? Or he probably does. But people would remark on that. And then we watched some playbacks, and what would happen is I would run in, Dan would be behind me, and he would open fire just on all three of us. So I would lower their health with a shotgun or something, and he would just assault rifle, killing me. But it didn't count as a team kill because they had taken enough life off me.
That feels an awful lot like when we used to go to Airsoft, and Dan had the real fancy guns that could hit, the Tower of London from the Angel of the North. So I'd go Leroy Jenkins
it's not
sliding
just that the
around.
guns were fancy, because if you went to his house, they were... You went to his house, they were in pieces on his dining room table, like some kind of Russian gangster, and he was, rebuilding them with bigger springs.
Oh, yeah.
He'd turn around and quite, happily say, oh, this one will chip bone.
This will go in.
It's like... It's like, if I lower it just to 50, it will still pass the test to be legal.
This is how I cheat the chronograph. Basically, I have to chrono this when it's cold. Because otherwise it'll pierce you.
Yes. And I didn't really understand the whole thing, but...
Until you went... Was it your stag do we did that for?
Yeah, we did Airsoft.
That was the first time H had ever seen me come back from Airsoft.
It's painful and scary.
Well, we did paintball, didn't we? So it's basically you stand next to each other with fairly high-powered guns that shoot little lumps of plastic.
Rental, so they're not probably as good as they were when they came out of the box, but they were...
We had our own.
Oh.
That was mine. That's why it hurt. To be fair, it all fucking hurts. My legs were still sort of...
You're still firing plastic bullets out.
Effectively, you are just...
Yeah, and I remember having to stand in the middle of the room.
That was paintball.
Paintball.
Yeah, basically, it's a last man standing kind of... Who's got the biggest pair of bollocks, basically.
Yeah.
You kind of...
It wasn't fun.
No, I didn't stay very long.
No.
I thought it was going to be sick.
No, because I know I'm not going to win, so why try and come close?
I feel like Ryan and Rob had biker jeans on, the ones that are a bit reinforced.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
They got real big dick about the fact that they didn't feel it quite...
Jimmy Big Nuts with biker jeans.
I was touching throwing up. I had to go and do some real...
I did a clip a test.
Clipped
a gym.
Winged one. No, that was out. I had to go and spent a lot of time by the window. some in 4 seconds and out kind of.
Yeah, deep breaths. That was a very long intro.
They always are.
Yeah. We were talking about... We're talking about the equipment. Before we carry on, so this episode we're hoping has better audio quality. Potentially might not, while we learn things. And what you will also have noticed is there was no intro this week, because although I am working with a friend of ours to get something sorted, I found out it's actually quite hard to write something you're happy with, and it's taken me a little longer, which is weird because the podcast is just off the cuff.
Yeah, but it's different if someone's going to hear it every week.
Do you know what? And I think people will pick up on this. I feel like I'm presenting again. If you listen to quite a few of these episodes, the earlier ones, I feel like I'm trying to...
You're radio hosting.
Yes. Yeah. And I feel like I'm doing that again. Yeah. It's going to take me a little while. It's going to take me a little while to get comfortable again, I think.
Yeah,
with a microphone in my face. It's not natural.
Everything that happens in the background for the next week or two. So
there's no sound deadening.
No. We're not in a studio.
No.
There's Hogwarts behind you.
The Lego Hogwarts. Yeah, we're not in the game room, which we may eventually move back to because there's natural sound deadening. Well, it's cozy, but you've got carpet. And think about it. The walls are lined with bookcases filled with DVD cases with manuals in. So that amount of paper has got to be doing something like foam. I wonder
where you were going with that. That was a real long...
I feel like it's got to help things.
Probably.
Whereas there's probably a bit of echo in here. Echo. There isn't actually an Amazon Echo in here though. So
no, that is a mercy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's not interrupted us yet.
No.
She'll travel down the stairs and
Oh yeah, the echo will probably.
the drones will hear us.
Bezos will know. He'll know that we didn't buy this equipment off of Amazon.
We probably did indirectly. The site that you used is definitely like a surrogate of Amazon. It's the same teat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're all part.
They're buying it from Amazon. It's just reselling
the Bezos udder. So we were the main kind of chat. If you're new to the podcast, what we do is we do a little chat. Then we have a segment called Numbers of the Beast, and then we have a segment called Pudding of the Week. Then we make mistakes while trying to sign off.
We forget basically all of the checklist items until the end, and then we run through them real quick, and Paul gets kind of cross about it.
Yeah, I get a little bit mad at myself. But the main chat thing that we wanted to have this week wasn't actually about the recording equipment. It was about gigs.
Well, it's been a couple of years off, and we've just been saying it's kind of weird getting back into it. So you've lost your measure. That was the tape.
That's definitely going to...
We might edit that bit. And by that I mean Blore might edit that bit.
Oh, no, I'll probably leave it in.
Yeah, it's part of the ambience.
Yeah.
No, we've had a couple of weeks off. We have had a couple of weeks off. We're like 4 years off nearly now.
Off gigs, yeah, because I kind of feel like I slowed down before COVID hit anyway.
I think the last one we did, was it Demons and Wizards?
No, because I was still doing Damnation.
Yeah. I think my last one before COVID...
Demons and Wizards would have been Demons and Wizards. Good, though. That was a great gig.
And that was worth the effort, because you're not going to see that again.
No, you're not going to see it again now.
Reasons that we probably won't go into.
John Schaefer's not going to be doing anything with Hansi Kursk anymore. But even before John did his little incident...
it sounded like he soiled himself on stage or something.
Even before that... I wouldn't have actually valued a Demons and Wizards gig as highly going a second time, because that third album came out and it was boring. It wasn't bad, it was boring.
Yeah,
and the first two Demons and Wizards albums,
they're going to have to play a lot of that. Yeah, the first two, you're not skipping anything on there.
Absolutely perfect albums.
They would... I struggle off the top of my head to put anything on there below a 7, which if you listen to the Number of the Beast before, you'll understand what I'm talking about there.
Yeah, 7's an important number.
Your average is definitely going to be in the high 5s, early 6s.
I honestly think your average is going to be between 6 and 7.
What was the highest Helloween one? That was...
The highest Helloween album was Keeper of the Seven Keys Part 2, I think, at 6.38.
They're going to top Keeper.
I think they would.
Top Keeper.
I don't like Demons and Wizards as much as I like Helloween, simply because I don't think you can with 2 albums.
No,
you can't get that into
a supergroup as well.
Yeah,
that's a weird
Yeah, no one's favourite group is a supergroup.
No, you're coming from Iced Earth or Blind Guardian.
Yeah,
and you're sticking for the combined effort.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. They are high 6s.
They're fucking brilliant. So we were looking at doing some gigs again, because I went to the Damnation recently. Recently, April? No.
You went to one.
November.
You went in the future.
November or October.
Sounds about right. It was cold. Autumnal.
Yeah. I went to Damnation this year, or last year, sorry, and it was great. What were the stand-up band? Mountaincaller for me with the stand-up band. That's who I went to see, because I'm not that big into my extreme metal at all. I don't really know much about it. I go with my brother and a couple of friends, and I go to hang around with them more than I do to actually go to the gigs. But when I saw that Mountaincaller were playing...
There's something on there to...
It's something to be interested in. And like the year before, I'd seen Mayhem, and it's just a bucket list band, isn't it?
You've got to... You've still... It's one of those to tick off. If you've been into this kind of music as long as we have, which is too long, you've kind of got to tick Mayhem off.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. But so we were looking at just going to a gig together, because this whole Numbers of the Beast thing got me wanting to see Iron Maiden again. So Maiden, just in time, start announcing that they're going to do some shows in 2022. And I don't know whether it was 2 or 1 show in England, and that either both of them were festivals or one of them, if it was just the one, was a festival. And it's Download, which is not my cup of tea, really. There's always going to be some good bands that I want to see, but Download to me is not what I'm really into, and it's always very expensive to see just a handful of bands. I'm not going just for Maiden.
Having done both, And having done, big tour, small tour, if you get that.
Well, this is the thing as well. The last time I saw Maiden, the only time I've seen Maiden live, were at the very first download.
Yeah, was that 3?
Just before Dance of Death came out.
Yes, it was. It was when they were just started doing Wildest Dreams as the intro.
Yeah. And they did. I think they might have done Rainmaker as well. And it was like, this is just for you.
Yeah.
Because it was brand new and no one had heard it yet. And they played that up. But I don't want to see them outdoors, and I don't want to see them as part of a festival. I want to see a real Iron Maiden show.
That's probably the worst bit.
Because you're paying money for a real show when you see Iron Maiden. And so I would like to see the whole crazy stage and stuff.
I always like the outdoors thing. I've always enjoyed them. Mm-hmm. Done, most all the ones that do England. Whack and Hellfest. So I have no problem with big outdoor festival and band playing there. No. But it's such a lottery.
Yeah.
And I'll pick on, I know you're not a big fan, that was the wine.
Yeah, I'm trying to quietly pour.
The biggest fan of them, but they're one of those bands from childhood that I do get a bit of a fizz for, like a nostalgia fizz. Do you remember dimmuborgir?
Yeah.
And they did Bloodstock years ago, it was like 10 years ago. But all you could hear were the bass drums, and it sounded like the triggered kind of clippy.
Wasn't good.
Everything else, all the synths, all the guitars, wafted away in the breeze because it was a bit windy.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go and see Iron Maiden, more than most bands, you're kind of going for the theatre.
Yeah.
You need the experience.
I'll put a glass down again. Hopefully, not too much of this reverb kind of knocks through, but I'm sure some of it will. Otherwise, it's just going to be me complaining about something that's not there.
Yeah,
which I've done before.
Well, that was the ghost.
But I'm going to pour this from the bottle.
He was definitely there. He's just, you can't see him.
That's not me urinating. That is...
It very well could be.
The wine.
If it sounds a little bit denser, then, he's moved into last week's discussion.
I think it's if you hear the flush afterwards, it really gives it away. That's why I like to... If it's yellow, let it mellow.
It's the gentle crying if he's gone the other way.
I'm trying to pass a stone. So where will we go? We were trying to talk. We're not going to go, or I'm not going to buy tickets to a festival just to see like one band. Although I guarantee Mastodon are playing. I guarantee Baroness are playing. That was the drinks mat hitting the table. We're bad at this. We shouldn't have drunk, but I guarantee you, listeners, we're not actually drunk. It's a learning curve.
They've heard this before, though. Like, we make these kind of noises when our phones hit the floor.
Yes, but the room recorder was a bit more forgiving than
that was a big one, and that was a really gentle,
Yeah. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hit the table once to make it very aware.
To make it very aware against the table.
So that people know that that's the sound that we're trying to avoid.
Yes. Also, that does sound like you've kind of just entered like the... on Uncharted, when you find the artifact, you get that dong.
Dong.
It's like that, but bassier.
Yeah, but it's probably also damaging the medium quality equipment that I've...
Beating the shit out of the eardrums of people listening to us as well. I think that's the main thing.
Do you know what? If this has even worked.
Yeah, there is always that.
This could be another lost episode. But yeah, we're not going to pay for festival tickets. But then I saw Ghost were touring with Uncleacidandthedeadbeats. Now, I haven't followed Ghost.
Ghost were one of those, we got in on Ghost when we were kids.
Yes.
And they were...
Well, we were at uni.
Yeah, they were our road trip.
I was in my...
It was the first album.
I was in my 4th year of uni, actually.
It's the only city... Didn't it get stuck or something?
In the Renault Clio.
We had a Clio that we used to do road trips in. And I think
the only
it got
CD
stuck
that we
in the
could
CD
play,
player at one point.
Yeah, and then the CD player kept giving out, so we kept listening to half a song.
Yeah, we got up to Elizabeth several times. Loved every minute of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I really enjoyed Opus Eponymous, and I probably would have enjoyed more if I'd followed more, but I never did.
It's drifted. Every album I've been less interested in.
Yeah. I remember hearing them doing a cover of If You Have Ghosts by Rocky Erickson.
Yeah.
Now, just don't cover Rocky Erickson. It doesn't work. Only he can kind of do that. Is he actually serious because he might be crazy? Kind of.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of...
You can't pull it off. They didn't pull it off very well, and it kind of soured them a bit for me. But I would still go and see them live because I want to see Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats live, because I only recently got into them, and I really got into them hard.
Yeah, and I would absolutely go and see Ghost live. I enjoyed them. It was a fun time.
Lads' day out, you know.
Yeah, we go back nearly 15 years.
Yeah.
We could get into all the old songs.
It would have been fun.
It would have been fun.
But I think, what were the tickets? £68?
Were they not more? They were
they more?
£100 quid, weren't they?
I think they vary.
Like where you sit in the venue.
Yeah, so it was like Manchester Arena. Already I know you're getting into some issues with Manchester Arena, or just arenas.
Well, the last time I saw Ghost do a gig, I feel like the last time I saw Ghost do a gig, I went for them as the support act. And we're talking probably 10, 15 years ago.
I don't think I've ever seen them live.
We're talking like £25 a ticket.
Yeah. Like you're talking Bloodstock in 2005 price.
Yeah.
A whole festival. Now, and I'm not being that guy that expects everything to be free, because I will happily. I think I might have paid £40 to £50 for the tickets to the latest Helloween tour.
We might be booting them a little bit hard here, actually.
Are they not that expensive?
Not as horrible. I've just looked at the Birmingham one.
Yeah.
The Birmingham one, we're talking £50 a ticket. Now, that's a lot.
It's a weeknight.
Yeah. Actually, so is the. I think this is. You're right. These are the tiered kind of up in the. That was me hitting the microphone. You're getting up. I'm saying that. I'm saying you're talking £50 a ticket, and then I'm thinking actually, £50 is still.
It's still a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money. I guess for some people that's that. Like I would pay £50 at the drop of a hat for Helloween.
Yes, but that big band,
it's very big band, very big catalogue. And remember the last time Helloween played, the Pumpkins United?
Yeah,
that was like 3 hours of no one but Helloween.
See, for Iron Maiden,
fucking amazing.
When we come to I'd get towards 3 figures, but for that you're getting a big show. You're basically playing for you're paying for theatre.
Oh, I would pay £1,000 to go and see Andy Derris and an acoustic guitar.
Yeah, but that'd be 1-to-1. I think you're getting into like an escort kind of deal here.
We're talking more about my fantasies then.
Yeah, this is just you lying on your back staring at the poster on your bedroom ceiling. Not
Goodbye,
Pudding Boys
Jenny
in any way an exaggeration. The first time I met Blore, he had a poster of Andy Derris above his bed.
It wasn't on the ceiling. Like I laid back and looked at it.
You were
it was above
his eyes.
the what do you call it? The top of the bed. What do you call the top end of the bed? The
headboard.
The manifold. The headboard.
The manifold. Your bed is an engine.
Yes.
There's the metaphor there somewhere, but
essentially, I hit the table
fucking
again.
Hell, that was a bad one.
We've just talked ourselves out of the argument because we were going to complain about gig tickets being expensive, but I think it might just be us being a bit tight.
I don't know. It's difficult. Okay, everything has gotten more expensive recently, especially, I get it, the last couple of years have been dog shit if you do this kind of thing. Yeah. So they've got to kind of recoup some money. £30-ish is kind of on a whim. 30 is an on the whim, like, edguy are playing, let's just go see it. Yeah. I always go by my dad's logic when we used to talk about going to football. Mm. So the ticket is one thing. The ticket here, I'm looking at the Ghost ones for some medium quality seated tickets. You're talking £50 a throw in Manchester, I think this is. Yeah. So on top of that, you've got to get there. Yeah. Which is either petrol, train, taxis, whatever you do. It's petrol. I'm not fucking about with the train. Depends if you're doing it anymore. It's been a long time since I've drunk at a gig. Yeah, because I just don't. Yeah, I don't, and it's usually piss weak water beer. I don't bother with it. I think the last time I really went big on drinks at a gig was, when we went to see Helloween the first time they did the Pumpkins United down in London. Yeah, did you go silly on the drinks then? I went big. It was when they did the 2-pint cups. Yes, I see. I only Pepsi'd because I was driving that night. We drove down, saw Helloween for like 2.5-3 hours, and then left. And drove back home, and then we went to work afterwards. We did. But that was when you could order. Are you talking equivalent of, I think it was getting on for about £7 a pint, and that was back then. That's the thing that does me with gig. Yeah. So we're talking about this, £50 for ticket. And I have to buy a t-shirt because I'm a neurotic weirdo, yeah. But you're talking night out. Yeah. Comfortably over 100. If you have 4 or 5 pints, if you get buzzed and get a T-shirt, some food beforehand or afterwards,
you're
and
talking,
travel.
Oh my God, I hit the mic again.
Good 100.
You're talking £100.
And you then have to become very selective about, like, £100 still goes a decent way. You have to become very selective in which bands you're going to see. And it's 20 quid a throw.
Yeah.
And we got spoilt because when we were kids, we lived in the city, with uni and that kind of thing.
Yeah, we lived in a very large city centre.
With a lot of gigs going on.
Yeah.
It wasn't
probably outside of London, probably the most.
At the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's drifted a bit, I think, recently.
It definitely has, But
you get spoilt by that as you move away from city. Obviously, you pay more to travel, but it does feel like there's been a real kind of creep on looking at. Maybe it's just the bands we like. I think we're maybe we're not listening to them.
Yeah, because we're not listening to new up and coming bands.
We're not cool anymore.
Set in our ways. No, I don't think we're ever cool. But
no,
we were spoiled back then, and I think there's another segment of the show that we've been spoiled on, and that is
Numbers of the Beast.
Welcome again to Numbers of the Beast, Pudding Boys audience, the segment of the show that Naylor and I have a good long listen to a classic album and rank each song on it out of 7 before averaging them out to create an album score and ranking them against the rest of that band's discography. Right now, we are working our way through the vast catalogue of Iron Maiden, and this week it is No Prayer for the Dying.
When you say a good long listen, this is the first one. Well,
I'll be honest, I only listened to this album twice because I was bored.
Every other one, unlike Blore, I've listened to every other album on Numbers of the Beast at least 3 times.
Fuck you.
Blore has heard some of the songs on each of the albums we've ranked so far, and from that he's formed an opinion.
I'm gonna
determinedly contrary to mine.
I'm going to look on Spotify at how you can get the statistics for the songs you listen to.
He's going to look on Spotify
I've listened to
the
them more than
the
you.
I doubt that very much.
I might have listened to 7 some more than you, because I had that on non-stop.
Oh, I was listening to that for fun, not just for Numbers of the Beast.
Oh, yeah.
But you wouldn't have gotten Phantom of the Opera so wrong if you'd ever listened to it. This album, really tough listen. This didn't make the 3.
No, I only listened to it twice because I got so bored. Although I have to say the second time was better. So, I mean, I'd say can't take that as a disclaimer, but if you've listened to this before, you know that we are not in any way doing this logically and we don't have any credentials. This is just 2 guys talking our way through an album.
This is things we like, basically.
Yeah, and we've decided to apply numerical scores to it because it helps us annoy each other.
And it also tickles that bit of our psyche that likes to rank things and sort things.
Yes, everyone likes the top 10.
Here.
Everyone likes the top 10. Tail Gunner.
Tail Gunner?
You just hit the table again.
I did. That was for effect this time. It wasn't. That was just me being incompetent.
Tail Gunner. Boom.
Tail Gunner. I gave it a 3.
Yeah.
Initially, I thought I liked Tail Gunner a lot more than I like Tail Gunner. So when I looked at the track listing, I looked at Tail Gunner and thought, that's one of the ones I'm going to get fizzy over all over again. Like Killers. I'd forgotten how much I like Killers. Which you didn't understand.
No, it's not that I didn't understand it. It's that it's not.
You're just bad at music.
No, I'm very good at music.
What did you give Tail Gunner?
I gave Tail Gunner a 3.
This is uncanny. Like, we've agreed.
Yeah.
Straight out the gate.
Initially, I thought it was like a parody of Aces High. A second time round, it is its own thing. But the chorus is awful.
Yeah.
Gunner. Tail Gunner.
The main bit is kind of fun.
The verses are fine.
Ruins it.
Yeah, the music's okay.
Holy smoke.
Holy smoke, holy smoke, something loud, holy smoke.
Yes.
Rah, rah, rah. I said this to you earlier. I don't really like AC/DC, so I don't really like Holy Smoke. The intro riff, the fucking love it.
Yeah,
it's great. And then turn the song off. I gave it a 3.
I give it a 4. Because I've got a bit of a nostalgia for it.
Yeah.
It was one of those that comes back from...
Did we decide that was the video with Mr. Bean in? Was that...
No, I think that was... No, was it Holy Smoke?
I don't know.
Can't remember. It wasn't...
Or maybe it wasn't even a music video. Maybe that was for like BBC
watching
or
Mr.
something.
Bean.
Yeah, maybe.
While you were listening to it. No, Holy Smoke, I do like... I gave it a 4. Because, going by the whole... I'm fine
with that. I'm not mad at that.
There's a little bit of fun to it. But it's not a great song.
No.
It's not going on if you're listening to a best of.
No Prayer for the Dying.
3.
I gave that a 4.
I hovered.
Yeah. I first time through, I think I gave it like nothing. But then I actually listened to it a bit more, and I was like, okay, I do think it's okay.
This album, it's pretty good. That's not really saying much.
Yeah, for this album, it's fine.
Public Enema number 1.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 3. Musically, I think I could have given it a 4.
Yeah.
But the name pissed me off.
The name, I kind of like it because it reminds me of the line from Batman where it's, this town needs an enema. Enemas are funny.
Yeah.
Pooh is funny.
I'm the opposite way, though. Like, I don't want Iron Maiden to do...
I know, yeah, I don't want Iron Maiden to do poo jokes. I want them to read me a bedtime story about history.
I want to put Iron Maiden on when I'm drinking a nice wine and trying to impress people that think I just listen to black metal.
Yeah. Fate's Warning.
3.
I give it a 2. It's just boring.
It could have been.
Boring song.
I don't think it was quite... I'm a bit softer. We established that the other day. I didn't think it was quite bad enough for a 2, but it was struggling for a 3. It wasn't.
I think it's worth bearing in mind that 2 isn't bad. Remember, we're ranking them only within Iron Maiden songs.
That's the thing I keep
almost forgetting. Yeah. I guess to be truly bad, it would have to be a minus number. Although to
be fair, to be truly bad, it'd have to be the Assassin.
Right, the Assassin, I gave it a 1 only because I don't think we're doing zeros. It's shit. It's a shit song. And I've said this to you. If I was listening to the Assassin and someone came in the room, I would be a little bit embarrassed about the song I was listening to.
People take the piss out of Judas Priest for this kind of era.
Yeah.
And most of what they put out was significantly better than the Assassin.
Yeah.
It is really cringeworthy.
What was the thing? You better watch out. And then it's like the freaking West Side Story. Think West Side Story.
Like walking on
with the
clicking
jets and the sharks.
kind of the dudes in the white t-shirts with the slick back hair.
You better watch out. The Assassin's here.
It did feel like we'd gone, like when you do a theatre trip with English when you're in secondary school.
And you have to go and watch Blood Brothers.
You fucking
Great Iron Maiden song, though.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sing it now.
The Brave New World episode is mostly going to be me and Naylor going, ah!
Yeah.
Wah!
Spoiler alert, the Brave New World episode, we're going to sing you Brave New World.
Yeah, line for line. We will get copy striked.
Yeah, and the mics will make it just so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Because you'll be able to hear us.
Run silent, run deep. Oh, wait, what did you get the Assassin?
I gave it a 1, and it's
shit.
punching
it's
to get that 1.
Shit, yeah. Run silent, run deep.
I gave it a 2.
I gave it a 3. I quite liked it for this album.
I think Run Silent, Run Deep and The Fate's Warning, you could have swapped the numbers around and neither of us would have noticed.
No. Yeah. I'll give you that.
Total filler.
I think they're both based off of war films.
Probably. Problem is, they don't have... I mean, I am the history geek out of the two of... Well, the 20th century history geek out of the two of us.
Yeah.
So, Die With Your Boots on...
I would say you're the human history. I think it's
I'm
in the history. I don't know.
I'm the modern war nut.
You've got a degree in Vikings.
I'm the History Channel geek.
I know dinosaurs. That's about it.
Yeah, that's not history because they don't write anything.
Pre-history's better.
Whole new episode.
Prehistory's better.
Whole different episode.
Next episode, we're doing...
Oh, okay.
We're doing that.
Okay.
We'll argue about that because I'll win because I'll just say dinosaurs over and over again.
Yeah, to be fair, dinosaurs versus the Pro Zedda. Like, one of them sounds a lot bigger to...
Here's a little preview of that episode. Dinosaurs! But
what about the historical...
Dinosaurs!
Okay, fine. We might not do that.
I bet that one sounds awful. No, I think we probably should do that. Hooks in You.
I give it a 2. I really like the riff. The first riff?
Yeah.
I came into Hooks in You thinking, hey, this is going to be a 4. This might look
same here.
And then you hit the chorus.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 also because I'm really not that into glam.
No, it is very much in the cherry pie
has so many songs where they're kind of trying to
all the genre
do other things. The dog has just been allowed into the room.
Yeah, that's not a snare drum. That's
if you
not
can hear
kind of
a tippy tapping.
Oh, she's mad about the fact that Hooks in You drifted so quickly.
Oh,
but she's so perfect that we figured you guys wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no one cares. Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter.
It got a 5. It's the big single. It's just historically,
it's the big Iron Maiden single.
I know that. We made the point earlier. you're coming off the back of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son. So, if you've got like a cool older brother, cool older friend, they bought that and that's the first album you heard, and then you're coming round to buy a single, you're going to buy the first Iron Maiden
single. And that might be
drops.
that might be why it was so popular, because it came after such good stuff. 3
big singles on that. Like, they all hit sevens. Yeah. And this one, it's the big single, but you put it up against everything you put it on every other album that we've done so far, and it doesn't stand out.
No.
It is a parody. I mean, you've got a point.
It is, it's supposed to be quite funny. It was, I think Bruce recorded it for Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
That sounds about right. Yeah. And that's later Elm Street, so
it's not good. It's not a good film in not a good franchise. Mother Russia. Oh, I gave that a 5, by the way. Mother Russia.
Uncanny. This might be the first album that we've actually matched up on.
Yeah, because what did you give Mother Russia?
I gave it a 2.
Oh yeah, I gave it a 2.
Uncanny.
Because I thought it was going to be good, and then it was shit.
Do you know, it had we talked about this. We talk a lot, actually. Funnily enough, not on the PB.
We should probably save it, but I just can't keep away.
No, sometimes we get real opinionated real quickly.
We have to open up WhatsApp now.
Yeah, we basically shout. When you put the bold font on WhatsApp that you can't do on Signal.
We've mastered the art of shouting through text.
Oh, our emphasis on word is superb.
On point. Yeah.
One day we might release them to the world. They are funny. They're funnier than this. But Mother Russia kind of had the opposite effect to Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great started boring.
Yeah.
And kind of got fun. Mother Russia started more fun and just kept going. And also, what was it you were saying? It drifts into halfway through.
The main riff. So that when I was a kid at school, there was like an educational video about painting your face.
That's the one.
Or it was on Play School or something. And it's paint your face, be a lamb or a lion. Paint your face, be whatever you please.
It definitely feels like one of those assembly kind of.
Yeah, but I feel like maybe it's based on the same nursery rhyme. Do you know how like the Elephants Marching 2 by 2 is also the same song
beat,
as the American war song, isn't it? About something. It's the Elephants Marching 2 by 2.
Album.
Yeah, with cannons going. What a fucking album! But
there'll be some peaks and troughs when we do the Iced Earth back catalog.
Do you know what? I actually really look forward to that. I do. I really do.
I wish they were big enough that we could kick like Black Sabbath or Priest or whoever we do next and do
further down.
Next, but we're gonna have to go with the big boys first.
We're gonna have to get Big Boys first, and then we can do Edguy, and then we can do Iced Earth, and Edguy's gonna be very fun. What was your total score?
Total score was 28.
Mine was 28. So your average score was 2.8 as well.
No, it's 3.1. There's 9 songs on this album.
There are 9 songs on this album.
No, I'm a moron.
There's 10
songs.
There's 10 songs, so yours was 2.8.
So I understand the music more, Blore understands the maths more.
But not
That's
what
we've established here.
Because I just times 2.8 by 2 instead of doing it in my head. So that gives it a Pudding Boys score, when we combine our 2 scores, maximum of 14. That gives it a 5.8.
What did Seventh Son hit?
Seventh Son hit 11.4.
That's almost
Seventh Son almost scored the same off just one of us.
Yes.
Because I gave it 5.75.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that puts it in last place. It's 8th. It's the 8th album, and it is 8th. And closest to it is Somewhere in Time with 7.1, so it is not close.
Somewhere in Time.
I feel like the Blaze stuff might actually beat this.
I think it will. The peaks and
Sign of the
troughs
Cross
are going to
is
be
there. That's going to be a 7, surely.
The peaks and troughs are going to be very noticeable.
Yeah.
I think we might get more 1s on the Blaze stuff. But I think we also might get more 6s and 7s.
You had the Klansman.
Yes.
Yeah, some good stuff. There is some good stuff.
The thing is, Blaze gets a bum deal because what came afterwards more than what came before, I think.
Yeah. Although, if you fancy a long listening along at home and making your own uninformed judgments with us, next week's Numbers of the Beast will be Fear of the Dark, and I think that's going to be a pretty cool one.
It's the last Bruce one, isn't it, before the break?
Yeah, so I'm interested in that.
Let us know what you think, PB.
It's time for an old friend of ours to make an appearance. Pudding of the Week. Welcome back, fellows. It is I, thomaslethbridge, and I am once again here to bring you Pudding of the Week, the segment of the show where we learn a little about a delicious dessert from around the globe, and Naylor ranks it on a scale of his choosing. This week's pudding is tarteaucitron. It is a classic of French cuisine. You can find lemontarts everywhere in France, from the elegantly designed displays of elite patisseries to humble bistros, as well as in the home. Tarteaucitron can be dressed for any occasion, topped with whipped cream or fruit, decorated with Italian meringue and toasted in the broiler, or simply dusted with confectioner's sugar like ours is today. However you serve it, it's a bright, zesty tart, sure to add some zing to your day. And I would like to thank the Sunday Baker for that little bit of background on the tarteaucitron. I see Blore has not got a squash for me, so I'm just going to quaff his wine for him. I'll just my long nails in there. Smooth.
That got stuck, didn't it, Thomas?
I think it may have been blessed.
It's an awful lot redder than it was when it went in.
That'll be the blood. I'm going to make a swift farewell. I'm going to wash my mouth out of whatever this dastardly concoction is, and leave you boys with your tarteaucitron.
I always imagined them drinking something like petrol or, something that wasn't designed for the average, mortal consumption.
Yeah. So Thomas has kindly brought us some actual pudding of the week again.
Very glad that he clarified that that's confectioner's sugar, because I assumed for a little bit that might be like bone or something.
Oh, yeah, bone meal.
Yeah.
Of human, the variety, not fish.
Yeah, taken, by force.
Yeah. Now, I've had to lift the plate off the table because I could hear it just about to bong, but fuck me. I mean, that's a soundbite that could be taken out of context, but I'm just giving people ideas now. This is fantastic.
This is one of the big hits.
Yeah.
You didn't know this before we went in. This is one of my sevens.
This is one of my favourite puddings.
Tarteaucitron. Disappointed that you overlooked the raspberry cooling.
Right. I knew.
You 10-year-old girl. But...
I know. I was picking it up the other day. I just put my elbow on the table. When I picked it up the other day, I was thinking, what do you put with this? I didn't actually know. I mean, when Thomas was picking this up the other day, obviously not me in Morrison's, when Thomas
took over
conjuring
your corporeal form
from rural France in the First World War, I think that's where he walked it from, not me in Morrison's. He was thinking, what to serve it with, and I decided with nothing, because I couldn't think of anything.
It doesn't mean
Clearly,
anything.
The Sunday Baker, it's a very good website, by the way, the Sunday Baker, clearly meringue would have been great. I don't think I would have bothered with whipped cream.
No, cream and
citrus,
cream and such seems a bit overkill. I think this is a drizzling pudding.
Yeah, I think you're right. Raspberry Kool-Aid would be...
Raspberry Kool-Aid is big time.
It's always going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, that works.
I've got to be very careful not to get pastry flake on the pop filter.
Yes, because that will make all the difference to the professional standard of this recording thus far.
Yeah, probably not. How's the signal? How is
it's poor, as usual.
Yeah. How is the...
what is the scale?
What is the scale? Right.
Okay, so...
Right, I've had a bit more wine than I thought.
And we forgot English words.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on what happened last night, which will take a little bit of explanation.
I think you should explain it first.
We started basically, H and I, amongst other things, started talking about the film Top Gun. Mm-hmm. The greatest film ever made.
No.
As part of that, we started talking about the concept of the aircraft carrier.
Right.
Which, fine, it's about 10:30 at night. You put the start of Top Gun on, you watch a couple of F-18s take off. It's a lot of fun. H made the mistake of asking me about how many planes fit on it, because it looked like about 6. And talked herself into an hour-long lecture on the varying capabilities and capacities of the different aircraft carriers of the world, which then branched out into what constitutes a carrier strike group.
No, I don't know if H was actually paying attention to your lecture.
No, I think she was asleep.
Because she sent a photo of you in a dressing gown pointing at the TV, drunk and angry.
That's how
pointing at an aircraft carrier and saying she thought it was a submarine.
Do you know what the best part was? No, she was basically asking if any of the other ships around it were submarines.
Right.
So we've got cruisers, frigates, destroyers. We're talking about US carrier strike group. Which
is that the scale? The scale is size of ship.
Typically, yeah. I did enjoy the fact that Rue pointed out that I'd muted the explanation that was on the YouTube video.
Yeah, because that joke is not...
Because I'm going to explain it better.
No.
And that's the first thing she
I don't think better, I think angrier.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of gesticulating. I would have hit the mic a lot more.
A lot of testiculating.
Well, the dressing gown did flop open. Several. It's not very well fitted. So, yeah, I'm not going to go through it all, because for those of you that are interested, I'll post something on YouTube. I won't. It's on there already.
Yeah.
People with qualifications have done that. But you've probably heard before, we talk about things like frigates. We've got destroyers, which are sort of mid-sized. Cruisers, which not many navies operate now. They're a lot bigger. We don't really have battleships anymore. And then you go up to aircraft carriers, which are, I'm going to put this, and I'm actually going to get a little bit controversial topic or whatever at the moment. This is a big hitter. I'm going to rank this as a battle cruiser.
Okay.
Now, only one navy currently operates something that's wildly described as a battle cruiser.
Is that Russia?
It's Russia. It's the Peter the Great class.
Peter the Great
It's
class?
a nuclear-powered surface combatant, but it's not an aircraft carrier. It's the only, as far as I can think now, the only nuclear-powered surface combatant that's not an aircraft carrier. And they operate a couple of these. It's a big ass. In the modern world, it's a battleship. It's covered in missiles.
Yeah.
Like... Most ships have, a couple of hundred air, sea, land missiles. This has got, I don't even know how many it's got. It's got a stupid amount. It's huge.
Are we talking like 500 or we're talking into thousands or something
Probably
crazy?
somewhere between the two. Like, This thing is big.
It's a big boy and it's come to play.
It's come to, when you go back into history, like Germany launched the Bismarck as the kind of big flex. Ours is a bit bigger and weightier and heftier.
You could put the Bismarck in one of the cannons and shoot it out.
Oh, no, the Bismarck's a lot bigger than this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, the Bismarck was massive, and that had, like, big guns and thick armour.
Yeah.
Not much point in putting thick armour anymore, because a missile's going to blow it out of the water anyway.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, you're talking about launching a nuclear missile at a ship now.
Yes, yeah.
But it's a big-ass ship covered in missiles.
Yeah.
It's a big boy. If that turns up in your backyard, you're probably going to pass a large stool.
Let's just hope it doesn't turn up in anyone's backyard.
To be fair, as I understand it, most of them are like half rotted and rusted to shit anyway. So
good.
Yeah, it's a big boy, but if it's anything like that aircraft carrier, apparently it's struggling to stay afloat.
Okay. Well, yeah, I agree with you entirely, because the tarteaucitron,
it's a big hitter, covered in missiles.
That's the confectioner's sugar of the ship. Well, it's been a fun experiment with these microphones. I hope that it sounds okay. We'll know fairly soon when I actually chop out the bit where I read from the wrong PowerPoint slide. You guys won't notice that. You'll notice me saying it now. I shouldn't have mentioned anything. But where can you find the PBs? We are available on YouTube on the channel Pudding Boys. Hit subscribe and leave us a comment. We can also be found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Google Podcasts, though we don't show up late on Google anymore.
And when we do, at least, and you pointed this out the other day, at least they have the decency to send us the begging notification.
Yes, yeah.
They come cap in hand and say, it's up now. Everyone else just go and find it, pal.
Yeah, it's up to you. We also now have, it's been weeks, we've got Instagram, and on there you can see the weird piece of artwork that I get to create for every episode.
Occasionally this week, trains as well.
I think this week I'm just going to put a photo of the Zoom recorder. Because although it's gone, we're replacing it. We're no longer aiming for that found podcast feel. Yeah. We're experimenting to try and get better. It's not going to sound perfect yet, but
good will do.
But the Zoom recorder did its thing for 22 episodes. The first 4 were worse, and I feel that was our
that's
fault.
all on us.
Yeah, but I think from 5 onwards it was okay. And honestly, the Zoom recorder in the last 4 or 5 episodes,
except for the time that it died on us.
Oh,
and we lost
fuck it, yeah.
No, we lost the funny bit of an episode.
Yeah, and do you know what? It's also very easy to not hit record on it, because that happened once as well, early on.
Oh, we lost the whole
We
episode.
lost the whole episode. But it was for the best, that
the
one.
recovered episode was better and might be best episode to that point.
Which one was it? Was it Operation Rip His Fingers?
It might have been.
Yeah, it was a funny one. Right.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been a weird episode. It's mostly been a testing episode. So we'll see what's what. That's the dog barking in the background, so we best let her out.
She's had enough.
Yeah, she's that's it. Pudding Boy's over. See ya. Bye.
Bye.